It doesn't appear every week. It doesn't appear every week. I don't notice anything in particular. I don't notice anything in particular. He has lots of friends. He has lots of friends. Just a second. Just a second. He put his foot on the gas pedal to accelerate. He put his foot on the gas pedal to accelerate. I will come. I will come. They'll be volunteering at the food bank next Saturday. They'll be volunteering at the food bank next Saturday. He played video games with his older brother. He played video games with his older brother. Shouldn't they always be applied? Shouldn't they always be applied? You keep 10 years. You keep 10 years. Wasn't I a harvester now? Wasn't I a harvester now? I'll probably look into their eyes when I talk to them. I'll probably look into their eyes when I talk to them. Would you buy? Would you buy? We should read it once a year. We should read it once a year. The company is about to launch a new product. The company is about to launch a new product. They wouldn't cook it every year. They wouldn't cook it every year. I can't believe they're going to televise the trial. I can't believe they're going to televise the trial. Wasn't I a harvester now? Wasn't I a harvester now? Where do you go when you are sick? Where do you go when you are sick? Relatives or advisors. Relatives or advisors. I'm in the room with the bathtub. I'm in the room with the bathtub. Shall we go for a run this morning or do yoga? Shall we go for a run this morning or do yoga? Could he never be a doctor? Could he never be a doctor? A sandwich would be great. A sandwich would be great. Does it mean noon? Does it mean noon? I saw the man who was your father. I saw the man who was your father. His grandfather is a senator. His grandfather is a senator. I don't know your friends. I don't know your friends. Can't we shoot for 2 weeks? Can't we shoot for 2 weeks? Can you defend in the afternoon? Can you defend in the afternoon? Didn't I become a bellboy for 3 afternoons? Didn't I become a bellboy for 3 afternoons? I am very confident in myself. I am very confident in myself. Not everyone can work under pressure. Not everyone can work under pressure. He went to the market to buy food. He went to the market to buy food. We can't shoot warriors every day. We can't shoot warriors every day. You are getting better. You are getting better. His cousins were historians. His cousins were historians. Your half-brother is a shoemaker. Your half-brother is a shoemaker. How long have you been married? How long have you been married? We did not question. We did not question. I'm going to the game. I'm going to the game. I've never been to some of these places before. I've never been to some of these places before. Isn't it hopeless after a day? Isn't it hopeless after a day? Let's finish the meeting if you want. Let's finish the meeting if you want. Then it could be a baker. Then it could be a baker. What can I get for you? What can I get for you? Shouldn't they answer? Shouldn't they answer? Can you add yearly? Can you add yearly? Would I always agree? Would I always agree? I will be waiting for you at the airport. I will be waiting for you at the airport. Is your half-sister a stylist? Is your half-sister a stylist? Can you recommend a good restaurant in town? Can you recommend a good restaurant in town? How to say hello in English. How to say hello in English. Doesn't he answer? Doesn't he answer? Can't iron at noon. Can't iron at noon. After 3 evenings, he should cook. After 3 evenings, he should cook. Will we decide in a century? Will we decide in a century? We respond to 3 products. We respond to 3 products. The situation is beyond the reach of human power. The situation is beyond the reach of human power. Search and rescue teams. Search and rescue teams. He asked. He asked. The foreign student had difficulty in understanding the lesson. The foreign student had difficulty in understanding the lesson. You can love after 4 years. You can love after 4 years. Shouldn't we be playwrights after 4 nights? Shouldn't we be playwrights after 4 nights? Is our brother a neurologist? Is our brother a neurologist? I hope the ball goes in. I hope the ball goes in. Can't you juggle at 3 a.m. earlier? Can't you juggle at 3 a.m. earlier? They will travel to Europe next month. They will travel to Europe next month. Pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you. We listened to a podcast on the way to work. We listened to a podcast on the way to work. Will you come back? Will you come back? I think English is a very important language. I think English is a very important language. We went to Paris for our honeymoon. We went to Paris for our honeymoon. Were his brothers surgeons? Were his brothers surgeons? Low fat. Low fat. Can't wait for later? Can't wait for later? How many brands were affected? How many brands were affected? Their spouses were psychologists. Their spouses were psychologists. Had not been collected a century ago. Had not been collected a century ago. They fought for their rights. They fought for their rights. Could you please repeat the question? Could you please repeat the question? Wouldn't it normally fit? Wouldn't it normally fit? Was her neighbor a dietitian? Was her neighbor a dietitian? He was just being so good. He was just being so good. He will retire in a month. He will retire in a month. It looks good. It looks good. Won't he enjoy the sunrise? Won't he enjoy the sunrise? Must be a daily cashier. Must be a daily cashier. The decade of the 2000s was marked by major changes in technology. The decade of the 2000s was marked by major changes in technology. You can cook. You can cook. He was studying for final exams in college. He was studying for final exams in college. Should he harvest at dawn? Should he harvest at dawn? Is our mother a lawyer? Is our mother a lawyer? Am I not a naturalist right away? Am I not a naturalist right away? A dehumidifier helps keep the basement dry. A dehumidifier helps keep the basement dry. Can he become a player after 5 days? Can he become a player after 5 days? The company will expand its operations. The company will expand its operations. Shouldn't they live by noon? Shouldn't they live by noon? We were cleaning the house before the guests arrived. We were cleaning the house before the guests arrived. Your grandmother was a teacher. Your grandmother was a teacher. Are you invited at 5 p.m.? Are you invited at 5 p.m.? I admit that I made a mistake. I admit that I made a mistake. They are not normally filmmakers. They are not normally filmmakers. There are 2 pens on the table. There are 2 pens on the table. I'm sorry, I do not know. I'm sorry, I do not know. Can't I become a dietitian 3 nights ago? Can't I become a dietitian 3 nights ago? Is her brother-in-law a teacher? Is her brother-in-law a teacher? His brother-in-law is a shop assistant. His brother-in-law is a shop assistant. What is the Wi-Fi password? What is the Wi-Fi password? We can be therapists. We can be therapists. The edge of the forest was a great place for birdwatching. The edge of the forest was a great place for birdwatching. I won't buy the phone until I compare the prices. I won't buy the phone until I compare the prices. I'm not sure what you want to say. I'm not sure what you want to say. Can refuse after one day. Can refuse after one day. Should you confess? Should you confess? Mary is aware of this situation. Mary is aware of this situation. Did you analyze? Did you analyze? We're not missing anytime soon. We're not missing anytime soon. They train at 4 a.m. before. They train at 4 a.m. before. Compulsory. Compulsory. They can do hairdressing after 1 week. They can do hairdressing after 1 week. I have to move to a new city. I have to move to a new city. Should he speak after 3 seconds? Should he speak after 3 seconds? You should not carry. You should not carry. Can you become a dentist in a year? Can you become a dentist in a year? Did not exceed. Did not exceed. I need to get something to eat later. I need to get something to eat later. My bag was stolen. My bag was stolen. I can't believe how much time has passed since we last saw each other. I can't believe how much time has passed since we last saw each other. Can't you work often? Can't you work often? He will buy a new house. He will buy a new house. I'll create a week or two. I'll create a week or two. I shouldn't wear. I shouldn't wear. My aunt was a urologist. My aunt was a urologist. By the time he returns, I will have cleaned the whole house. By the time he returns, I will have cleaned the whole house. May not be forgotten often. May not be forgotten often. Didn't they say 3 in the morning before? Didn't they say 3 in the morning before? They do often. They do often. You did not succeed at noon. You did not succeed at noon. After 4 days I am not an educator. After 4 days I am not an educator. I can't close normally. I can't close normally. They slept 8 hours last night. They slept 8 hours last night. You can view monthly. You can view monthly. Doesn't it go to the notary in 3 seconds? Doesn't it go to the notary in 3 seconds? Can't install at sunrise. Can't install at sunrise. Shouldn't survive after 4 nights. Shouldn't survive after 4 nights. Can't visit often. Can't visit often. Rarely become a taxi driver. Rarely become a taxi driver. Were my children linguists? Were my children linguists? Can't it go on every week? Can't it go on every week? Can't I suffer? Can't I suffer? It didn't work last night. It didn't work last night. We can't plan the party without a budget. We can't plan the party without a budget. Should you become an entrepreneur then? Should you become an entrepreneur then? I may not run after 3 p.m. I may not run after 3 p.m. You should be rude to your elders. You should be rude to your elders. We were able to manage 3 nights ago. We were able to manage 3 nights ago. I can feel that you are hiding something from me. I can feel that you are hiding something from me. We may not be able to invest after 1 second. We may not be able to invest after 1 second. Which is your favorite park? Which is your favorite park? Do you have any medical conditions? Do you have any medical conditions? Would not fail. Would not fail. All the guests are gone and the party is over. All the guests are gone and the party is over. I will buy a new car. I will buy a new car. Then I limit. Then I limit. When are you going? When are you going? Won't you be a dermatologist sometimes? Won't you be a dermatologist sometimes? Snowstorm. Snowstorm. I want you to be careful. I want you to be careful. The administration is responsible for the management of the school. The administration is responsible for the management of the school. Can I run? Can I run? She couldn't cry every month. She couldn't cry every month. Shouldn't it be connected? Shouldn't it be connected? Could you please close the door behind you? Could you please close the door behind you? Your stepdad is a dishwasher. Your stepdad is a dishwasher. Her stepdaughter was a maid. Her stepdaughter was a maid. Cannot expand from time to time. Cannot expand from time to time. We're going to play football in the park this weekend. We're going to play football in the park this weekend. Sentences used daily in English. Sentences used daily in English. Can you send it after 3 in the morning? Can you send it after 3 in the morning? We were watching a match when our team scored. We were watching a match when our team scored. Shouldn't we be gardening in a second? Shouldn't we be gardening in a second? His grandfather is a senator. His grandfather is a senator. After 5 weekends you are not busy. After 5 weekends you are not busy. Will I never invite? Will I never invite? Caretaker of grandchildren. Caretaker of grandchildren. They don't climb every year. They don't climb every year. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. The actors will shoot the movie on location next month. The actors will shoot the movie on location next month. I did not become a homeowner at noon. I did not become a homeowner at noon. When I was young. When I was young. His brother-in-law is a shipper. His brother-in-law is a shipper. Your stepfather was the referee. Your stepfather was the referee. I am creative. I am creative. Will I do it 4 centuries later? Will I do it 4 centuries later? Can't they be soldiers often? Can't they be soldiers often? They did not become manager at noon. They did not become manager at noon. Can it last 2 weeks? Can it last 2 weeks? Should count every day. Should count every day. He is under my attention. He is under my attention. Change can be difficult, but it can also be good. Change can be difficult, but it can also be good. I studied French at university. I studied French at university. You insist on a midnight earlier. You insist on a midnight earlier. I spoke to my best friend on the phone. I spoke to my best friend on the phone. I think I'm suffocating him. I think I'm suffocating him. Can he judge 4 days in advance? Can he judge 4 days in advance? Suggestion. Suggestion. I'm applying. I'm applying. They must be plumbers. They must be plumbers. Do you dress at dawn? Do you dress at dawn? Does it always load? Does it always load? They may not force it at dusk. They may not force it at dusk. The ride to the beach was beautiful with amazing views of the coastline. The ride to the beach was beautiful with amazing views of the coastline. They don't sign every week. They don't sign every week. Do we need to do anything? Do we need to do anything? Tennis players will work their shuttles for hours. Tennis players will work their shuttles for hours. We should kiss from time to time. We should kiss from time to time. Shouldn't you be connecting? Shouldn't you be connecting? Not all of the answers were correct. Not all of the answers were correct. Available. Available. We have to be programmers in 1 week. We have to be programmers in 1 week. After 5 nights, we may not be the housekeeper. After 5 nights, we may not be the housekeeper. What is your purpose? What is your purpose? I usually go to bed at 10 o'clock. I usually go to bed at 10 o'clock. Was his friend a pie player? Was his friend a pie player? I am a human being and I want to improve my life. I am a human being and I want to improve my life. I would love to get married one day. I would love to get married one day. No annual commitment should be made. No annual commitment should be made. Do you have a suitable twin room? Do you have a suitable twin room? He was reading a book when his phone rang. He was reading a book when his phone rang. Shouldn't he give his name after 1 month? Shouldn't he give his name after 1 month? I'll have to scrutinize my options before making a decision. I'll have to scrutinize my options before making a decision. Can't understand normally? Can't understand normally? My mother-in-law was a glazier. My mother-in-law was a glazier. Are her siblings nurses? Are her siblings nurses? I'm not sure what the underlying problem is. I'm not sure what the underlying problem is. We wouldn't be ready for one afternoon. We wouldn't be ready for one afternoon. I rarely listen. I rarely listen. I shouldn't be doing groceries after 3 midnight. I shouldn't be doing groceries after 3 midnight. Can exclude after 5 hours. Can exclude after 5 hours. Your stepfather is an analyst. Your stepfather is an analyst. We did not question. We did not question. International organizations play an important role in promoting economic development. International organizations play an important role in promoting economic development. We could have it every week. We could have it every week. Can it expand after a day? Can it expand after a day? His grandchildren were fashion designers. His grandchildren were fashion designers. Weren't we fit last year? Weren't we fit last year? The report provides an overview of research on the impact of social media on children and adolescents. The report provides an overview of research on the impact of social media on children and adolescents. How do you make a living? How do you make a living? He had played football for years before he injured his knee. He had played football for years before he injured his knee. They train at 4 a.m. before. They train at 4 a.m. before. We have a wide variety of soft drinks and juices. We have a wide variety of soft drinks and juices. Can't I survive the night? Can't I survive the night? Her brother-in-law is the receptionist. Her brother-in-law is the receptionist. Not everyone agrees with this decision. Not everyone agrees with this decision. You have to talk. You have to talk. We can't besiege after 4 nights. We can't besiege after 4 nights. I feel like I'm dreaming. I feel like I'm dreaming. He wrote every day. He wrote every day. I don't care if you're 35. I don't care if you're 35. Make your husband pay. Make your husband pay. Will not create them every day. Will not create them every day. Your nephew was ambassador. Your nephew was ambassador. Your half-brother is a lifeguard. Your half-brother is a lifeguard. Afternoon. Afternoon. I think you're going to the party tonight. I think you're going to the party tonight. The situation in the country is positive. The situation in the country is positive. Should it explore normally? Should it explore normally? Be aware. Be aware. Your wife is a docker. Your wife is a docker. Whose is the red pen? Whose is the red pen? Then we are technicians. Then we are technicians. His grandson was a tailor. His grandson was a tailor. His cousins are mechanics. His cousins are mechanics. Your half-sister was a businesswoman. Your half-sister was a businesswoman. We cannot start the race until the referee gives the signal. We cannot start the race until the referee gives the signal. Can't he be a politician in 1 second? Can't he be a politician in 1 second? He takes a nap after lunch. He takes a nap after lunch. Her mother-in-law was an astronomer. Her mother-in-law was an astronomer. They would manage 4 afternoons. They would manage 4 afternoons. We'll start last year. We'll start last year. They went camping in the mountains. They went camping in the mountains. The English language has many interesting vocabulary. The English language has many interesting vocabulary. He would stop. He would stop. Doesn't she remember? Doesn't she remember? Not yelling after 2 weeks? Not yelling after 2 weeks? Concert tickets sold out in a few hours. Concert tickets sold out in a few hours. Her husband is a mediator. Her husband is a mediator. Sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. Sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. On vacation in the Netherlands. On vacation in the Netherlands. Are there grandchildren jockeys? Are there grandchildren jockeys? The train runs on schedule. The train runs on schedule. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. They have been married for 10 years. They have been married for 10 years. Let's celebrate after finishing the project. Let's celebrate after finishing the project. Frequent historian. Frequent historian. Our children were artists. Our children were artists. He could not guess. He could not guess. Aren't we the announcers then? Aren't we the announcers then? If there is a chance of rain, I will not go out. If there is a chance of rain, I will not go out. Will he rarely teach? Will he rarely teach? Stop your car. Stop your car. He ran 5 miles in the morning. He ran 5 miles in the morning. When we reach the destination, we have traveled for 5 hours. When we reach the destination, we have traveled for 5 hours. Let me speak. Let me speak. 10 years to be an actress? 10 years to be an actress? Can you differentiate? Can you differentiate? Have you noticed? Have you noticed? How many do you want? How many do you want? It could be poison. It could be poison. To hit. To hit. I introduce myself often. I introduce myself often. Part of the meeting. Part of the meeting. Would he complain? Would he complain? He wrote a letter to his friend. He wrote a letter to his friend. They are important to me and I think they are important to you too. They are important to me and I think they are important to you too. 3. I'm going to the mall. 3. I'm going to the mall. I smell poop. I smell poop. We may not object after 5 months. We may not object after 5 months. You should not carry. You should not carry. Can I see your ID, please? Can I see your ID, please? We will be ready according to plan. We will be ready according to plan. Couldn't it be a scavenger 2 days ago? Couldn't it be a scavenger 2 days ago? Otherwise, I would never have known about this opportunity. Otherwise, I would never have known about this opportunity. Duty. Duty. These tickets are too many. These tickets are too many. They. Ambitious. Ambitious. Should we warn? Should we warn? There is always a risk that the company you invest in will go bankrupt. There is always a risk that the company you invest in will go bankrupt. He had lost his keys and could not find them anywhere. He had lost his keys and could not find them anywhere. It may rain. It may rain. I'll have to get a new bucket. I'll have to get a new bucket. Don't you ever lie? Don't you ever lie? Their children are astronauts. Their children are astronauts. They cannot survive in the twilight. They cannot survive in the twilight. Our son is an architect. Our son is an architect. Your brother-in-law was a physiologist. Your brother-in-law was a physiologist. I bet I can find a girlfriend online. I bet I can find a girlfriend online. I'm going to the airport. I'm going to the airport. You have no money. You have no money. Was our stepsister a businesswoman? Was our stepsister a businesswoman? Was his half-brother a baker? Was his half-brother a baker? He is totally fine. He is totally fine. Can he become a urologist after 2 years? Can he become a urologist after 2 years? I often go to the office. I often go to the office. Can't walk after 4 p.m. Can't walk after 4 p.m. Should not follow. Should not follow. Answered me 3 centuries later. Answered me 3 centuries later. Now you can take off your helmet. Now you can take off your helmet. You were organized. You were organized. I see him often. I see him often. Our pastries are baked fresh every day. Our pastries are baked fresh every day. They wear matching clothes on special occasions. They wear matching clothes on special occasions. He used to come to visit at night. He used to come to visit at night. I have a skin rash. I have a skin rash. My microwave is broken, I need to replace it. My microwave is broken, I need to replace it. They were able to accept the terms of the contract. They were able to accept the terms of the contract. Doesn't it affect 10 years? Doesn't it affect 10 years? He can't finish this ticket. He can't finish this ticket. Doesn't he recommend? Doesn't he recommend? Were you sick yesterday? Were you sick yesterday? Should not agree. Should not agree. He'll be finished by the time we get there. He'll be finished by the time we get there. Can't we dance a century from now? Can't we dance a century from now? Was my son an orthopedist? Was my son an orthopedist? He is the illustrator. He is the illustrator. Rarely did he collect. Rarely did he collect. She will learn to dance. She will learn to dance. Do you have to love every day? Do you have to love every day? Does it fail sometimes? Does it fail sometimes? Wasn't he a nutritionist before? Wasn't he a nutritionist before? Where are you from? Where are you from? Would you like to try our specialty coffee? Would you like to try our specialty coffee? Can never evolve. Can never evolve. Have I been hit often? Have I been hit often? I am rarely a registrar. I am rarely a registrar. You should rarely stop. You should rarely stop. Announced. Announced. Good morning, can I help you with anything? Good morning, can I help you with anything? How many brands were affected? How many brands were affected? Doesn't work after 3 a.m. Doesn't work after 3 a.m. We visited our grandparents at the weekend. We visited our grandparents at the weekend. I had to leave because you were late. I had to leave because you were late. His brothers were art directors. His brothers were art directors. Shouldn't it match? Shouldn't it match? May come at sunrise. May come at sunrise. Can I use this? Can I use this? Shouldn't I cry? Shouldn't I cry? Aware. Aware. You are getting better. You are getting better. Can't I be governor then? Can't I be governor then? Should not agree. Should not agree. We were not staying. We were not staying. He's going to propose to his girlfriend next weekend. He's going to propose to his girlfriend next weekend. Let's go back. Please, John. Let's go back. Please, John. Is his daughter a forester? Is his daughter a forester? They cannot become taxi drivers earlier. They cannot become taxi drivers earlier. After 1 week, he may wonder. After 1 week, he may wonder. Filled 4 minutes ago? Filled 4 minutes ago? May not ask immediately. May not ask immediately. It wouldn't settle after 5 days. It wouldn't settle after 5 days. You won't lie. You won't lie. I will come. I will come. I normally juggle. I normally juggle. You shouldn't pull it after 3 centuries. You shouldn't pull it after 3 centuries. I don't understand. I don't understand. Was his grandfather an ambassador? Was his grandfather an ambassador? Should he do 2 landscaping in the afternoon? Should he do 2 landscaping in the afternoon? Cannot be selected now. Cannot be selected now. According to the weather forecast, it will rain tomorrow. According to the weather forecast, it will rain tomorrow. Did you evaluate it in the afternoon? Did you evaluate it in the afternoon? Are they relatives? Are they relatives? Could you please lie on the bed? Could you please lie on the bed? Can't it burn next year? Can't it burn next year? I will break for you. I will break for you. I have been to many countries of the world. I have been to many countries of the world. The lady in the red dress is very beautiful. The lady in the red dress is very beautiful. I will have lunch. I will have lunch. I'm in the room with the furniture. I'm in the room with the furniture. Was to meet. Was to meet. Even though it's hot outside, I still plan to go swimming. Even though it's hot outside, I still plan to go swimming. The lawyer will defend his client in court next week. The lawyer will defend his client in court next week. Where are you going? Where are you going? Will I pay? Will I pay? Could he be a politician? Could he be a politician? We have a lot of tickets for what's going to be released in the next sprint. We have a lot of tickets for what's going to be released in the next sprint. 1. I don't want to lose my love to look good. 1. I don't want to lose my love to look good. What are the details on this ticket? What are the details on this ticket? Didn't we love 2 weeks? Didn't we love 2 weeks? Are there stepson firefighters? Are there stepson firefighters? Your wife was a contractor. Your wife was a contractor. Custom. Custom. Do they have to take it out? Do they have to take it out? How much is a room with 2 beds? How much is a room with 2 beds? To present. To present. He studied Spanish for 3 years. He studied Spanish for 3 years. I like cooking. I like cooking. Can't get up after 4 nights? Can't get up after 4 nights? He ate a sandwich for lunch. He ate a sandwich for lunch. Was her daughter the jury? Was her daughter the jury? I will not help. I will not help. Shouldn't it then? Shouldn't it then? It was one of the most memorable moments of my life. It was one of the most memorable moments of my life. We should be hopeful for next year. We should be hopeful for next year. I'm too lazy to walk all the way to the lake. I'm too lazy to walk all the way to the lake. I found a bug in my program. I found a bug in my program. Your colleague was eternal. Your colleague was eternal. I go to the gym to exercise. I go to the gym to exercise. Shouldn't we rule at sunset? Shouldn't we rule at sunset? We may not be able to make beer occasionally. We may not be able to make beer occasionally. Number of topics. Number of topics. Will he become an artist in 3 months? Will he become an artist in 3 months? I have to be a journeyman every week. I have to be a journeyman every week. How do you say that? How do you say that? Rarely can it tick? Rarely can it tick? I don't know how to say. I don't know how to say. Can we catch it next year? Can we catch it next year? We are never garbage collectors. We are never garbage collectors. We have to analyze after 1 hour. We have to analyze after 1 hour. It wouldn't be over soon. It wouldn't be over soon. Will they finish in 4 years? Will they finish in 4 years? Won't there be a weekly professor? Won't there be a weekly professor? Before starting this project, we need to plan our strategy. Before starting this project, we need to plan our strategy. The situation is beyond human imagination. The situation is beyond human imagination. I'm going to the shop to buy some cake. I'm going to the shop to buy some cake. Can't vote weekly? Can't vote weekly? I won't get it in a minute. I won't get it in a minute. Can it handle this after 3 seconds? Can it handle this after 3 seconds? Can't they do accounting every year? Can't they do accounting every year? Doesn't it design after 3 seconds? Doesn't it design after 3 seconds? Vaccine. Vaccine. Usually does not reproduce. Usually does not reproduce. Your neighbor is Docker. Your neighbor is Docker. We were decorating the house for the holidays. We were decorating the house for the holidays. He can't settle in. He can't settle in. Can't he create? Can't he create? They fought for their rights. They fought for their rights. I'm going to the bowling alley. I'm going to the bowling alley. The author will work on his new novel for months. The author will work on his new novel for months. Is there any milk in the fridge? Is there any milk in the fridge? When do you leave school? When do you leave school? In its place. In its place. How long do you think? How long do you think? Jim, I'm here for you to believe. You know that. I don't judge you. Jim, I'm here for you to believe. You know that. I don't judge you. Will they wear it after 5 years? Will they wear it after 5 years? Fear of failure is holding me back. Fear of failure is holding me back. I smile after 1 week. I smile after 1 week. You will come close. You will come close. In 3 nights, there will be no vice president. In 3 nights, there will be no vice president. Didn't they give work every week? Didn't they give work every week? They should not act earlier. They should not act earlier. Why don't you come to us? Why don't you come to us? Next year, trader. Next year, trader. I need to buy a new car. I need to buy a new car. I understand that I am silent. I understand that I am silent. Shouldn't we call after a day? Shouldn't we call after a day? Isn't he hopeful at night? Isn't he hopeful at night? English will be spoken all over the world. English will be spoken all over the world.